Hey Cowboys Nation, welcome back to the channel, and wow, do we have some absolutely massive, ground-shaking news to break down for you today. If you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, or just an NFL fan who loves big quarterback moves, this one is gonna fire you up. So smash that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and buckle up because this story has everything: a rising star quarterback, bold front office moves, and a twist nobody saw coming. It's official. Joe Milton, yes, that Joe Milton, the cannon-armed quarterback out of Tennessee and most recently the New England Patriots, has just signed with the Dallas Cowboys in a move that is shaking up the entire NFL quarterback landscape. And if that wasn't enough, Jerry Jones himself has personally confirmed the news, putting all the rumors to bed and making it 100% official. This isn't just some minor offseason pickup. This is a strategic, calculated move with deep implications for the future of the Cowboys franchise, and we're gonna unpack every layer of this story right now. Let's rewind a bit for those of you who might be new to the Joe Milton saga. Coming out of college, Milton was one of those quarterbacks that got everyone talking, not necessarily because he had the most polished tape or put up gaudy stats every week, but because of the sheer potential he brought to the table. We're talking about a guy who's built like a linebacker but moves like a wide receiver, and throws the football like he's launching a rocket into orbit. I mean, this guy has one of the strongest arms we've seen in years, and scouts have been drooling over that potential since his days at Michigan, and later at Tennessee, where he finally found his stride. Sure, he was raw, he needed some work, but the tools were undeniably elite. The Patriots saw that and took a flyer on him in the 6th round of the 2024 draft, a low-risk, high-reward pick, hoping he could be molded into something special behind the scenes. Fast forward to the end of last season, and Milton got his shot. It was Week 18, the Patriots were out of playoff contention, and they decided to give the kid a chance to show what he could do. And folks, he delivered. We're talking about a calm, poised, confident performance against a tough Buffalo defense. He threw for 241 yards, completed 22 of 29 passes, tossed a touchdown, and most importantly looked like he belonged on an NFL field. You could see the flashes: his poise under pressure, the ability to escape the pocket and throw on the run, the way the ball just jumps off his hand like it's shot from a cannon. It wasn't perfect, no rookie debut ever is, but it was more than enough to turn heads, especially down in Dallas, where the front office has been quietly exploring future options behind Dak Prescott. And that brings us to the Cowboys. Now, we all know the state of the quarterback room in Big D has been complicated, to say the least. Dak Prescott, love him or hate him, is the guy right now, but let's be honest, the clock is ticking. He's been great at times, inconsistent at others, and injuries have started to mount. With Cooper Rush now out of the picture and Trey Lance still a bit of a wild card, the Cowboys needed another option. Not just a body, but someone who could come in, push the room, and potentially develop into something bigger down the road. That's where Joe Milton fits perfectly. Jerry Jones, ever the showman and ever the visionary, saw something here: a chance to add a high upside talent without giving up the farm. According to insiders, the Cowboys didn't have to part with anything outrageous. They made a calculated move, one that could pay massive dividends if Milton develops the way they hope he can. Now let's talk about why this is such a big deal, not just from a personnel standpoint but from a philosophical one. The Cowboys aren't just collecting quarterbacks, they're sending a message. They're saying, we're not content to just sit back and hope everything works out with the current roster. We're taking swings. We're planning for the future. And that future could involve Joe Milton in a very real way. Think about the trajectory here. If Doc plays well and stays healthy, awesome, Milton gets to learn from the bench, refine his mechanics, and maybe get a shot down the line. But if things go sideways, if injuries happen again, or if contract negotiations go south, the Cowboys have a contingency plan now. A big-armed, mobile, high-upside quarterback who could step in and change the dynamic overnight. And don't underestimate the Jerry Jones factor in all this. When Jerry believes in a player, he believes hard. He's been known to make bold moves, some that work out brilliantly, others that miss the mark, but he's never been afraid to take a chance on a player with potential. And what's interesting here is that this wasn't a flashy, headline-grabbing draft day trade or a multi-million-dollar free agency signing. This was a strategic chess move, the kind that flies under the radar now but could end up being one of the smartest moves of the offseason. You don't bring in a guy like Joe Milton without some level of intention. The Cowboys didn't just sign him to fill out a depth chart, they brought him in because they see something. Maybe not today, maybe not even this season, but soon. Let's also talk fit. In terms of scheme, Joe Milton makes a ton of sense in Dallas. The Cowboys' offense under Mike McCarthy has shifted a bit in recent years. It's no longer just the old-school smash-mouth attack. They've incorporated more spread concepts, more play action, more motion and misdirection, and that actually plays to Milton's strengths. He's got the mobility to execute rollouts and read option plays, and the arm talent to attack every level of the field. If McCarthy and the coaching staff can get him comfortable with the system, simplify the reads, and focus on his footwork and decision-making, the sky's the limit. This is the kind of raw clay that NFL coaches dream of shaping, and if there's ever been a time for the Cowboys to get bold and start planning for life beyond the current era, this is it. What's even more exciting is how the fanbase has responded. Social media is already buzzing. Some fans are skeptical, sure that's expected. But a huge portion of Cowboys Nation is intrigued, hopeful, and yes, even excited about the possibilities. People are throwing around comparisons to other late-round quarterbacks who developed into stars. People are talking about Milton's potential to be a true dual-threat option, a modern NFL quarterback who can extend plays and make defenses pay. It's rare that a backup QB signing generates this much hype, but that's the power of potential. That's the power of a player who makes you say, what if? So what happens next? Well, the real work begins now. OTAs, minicamp, training camp, it's all ahead of us, and Milton's going to have to earn every rep. Nothing is handed out in this league, especially not in Dallas where expectations are sky high and scrutiny is relentless. But the opportunity is real, and sometimes that's all a young quarterback needs. A shot, a belief, a coaching staff that sees the vision. And if Milton can capitalize on that, if he can improve even 10-15% in the areas he struggled with last year, mainly decision-making under pressure and intermediate accuracy, then we could be witnessing the beginning of something special. Will he be QB1 this year? Probably not, but will he be QB2? Very possibly. And by 2026? Who knows? We've seen crazier things happen in this league. So Cowboys fans, let's keep our eyes peeled. Joe Milton is officially part of the star, and that means we've got another reason to be excited about what's coming in Dallas. Whether you think this is a genius move or just another offseason experiment, one thing's for sure: the Cowboys aren't sitting still. They're building, they're planning, and they're keeping all their options open. And in a league that moves fast and punishes stagnation, that's exactly what you want your team to be doing. Joe Milton is now a Cowboy. The story is just beginning, and I, for one, cannot wait to see how it all unfolds.